Hi everyone, we are Talk for Logic, and today's we will talk about some basic HTML interview questions for UI or UX candidate. This is not exactly for the UI or UX candidate, actually it will helpful for those candidate who is going for the PHP interview, React, Angular or any other web development interview, because that HTML is some basic concept. So that will actually generally ask in every interview what is exactly HTML, how it will work. So these are some basic questions, and apart from that I have covered some basic tag which is newly introduced in HTML. So before starting our today agenda, I would like to request you please subscribe this channel, click on bell icon for getting more latest and updated video. Please click on like button if you like this video. If you have any comment and suggestion, please put your comment and suggestion in a comment box. So let's start our today's video with the first question. The first question is, can you please explain us about HTML and why it's required in a web development? Now the answer is HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it was created by Tim Berners-Lee in the late 1991, but it was not released officially. It's published in 1995 as HTML 2.0 version, and the HTML 4.0.1 was published in the late 1999 and was a major version of HTML. Nowadays, as we know, we are using HTML5. So the HTML having a different type of tags which helps to create a design. The web pages, as we know, it's divided into two parts. First is the head, second is the body. Head and body having their own children tag for creating static web pages. Now moving to the next question, what are the new form element in HTML5? There are 5 new form element in HTML5 form specification, which are data list, output tag, keygen tag, progress tag and a meter tag. So what is data list tag? It's allowed to attach a list of suggestions to a text input element as soon as the user begins to type in the text field. The list of suggestions appear and the user can choose from the suggestion with the help of mouse. Output tag is meant to display text output. It indicates a section of page that can be modified by a script, usually with the help of JavaScript. So in a below example, we have output tag that has been managed by the form on input attribute. Now the next tag is keygen tag. The keygen element generates an encrypted key for passing encrypted data to a server. When an HTML form is submitted, the browser will generate a key pair and store in private key in the browser's local key storage and send the public key to the server. In a below example, we have a keygen tag that will store exactly a key value, and when we will send this form, the value has been passed with the help of key value. Now moving to the next tag, we have a progress tag, indicate how much of the task has been completed. Often marked as a percentage, it is expected to be modified through JavaScript code. In a below example, we have tried to explain how the progress bar will be work, but for that you have to more study about the JavaScript. Now we have the last tag, which is a meter tag, indicate a number of value that falls within a range. The tag support a number of attribute, which is values. If you don't specify a value, the first numeric value inside the meter pair become the value max, the maximum possible value of the item, mean the minimum possible value of the item. What is exactly high attribute? If the value can be defined as a range, this is the high end of the range. What is low? If the value can define as a range, this is the low end of that range. Optimum, the optimum value of the element. In a below example, we are trying to include all the attributes. Now move into a next question. What does a doc type do? A doc type is always associated to a DTD document type definition. A DTD defines how documents of a certain type should be structured. That is, a button can contain a span but not a div. Whereas a doc type declares what DTD a document type supposedly respects, that is, the document respect the HTML DTD. For web page, the doc type declaration is required. It is used to tell user agents what version of the HTML specifications your document respects. Once a user agent has recognized a correct doc type, it will trigger the no queries mode, matching the doc type for reading the document. If a user agent does not recognize a correct doc type, it will trigger a queries mode. Now moving to a next question. What happens when doc type is not given? The web page is re-rendered in queries mode. The web browser engines use queries mode to support older browsers, which does not follow the W3 specification. In queries mode, CSS class and ID name are case insensitive. In standard mode, they are case sensitive. Now moving to a next question. What is difference between HTML and XHTML? The extensible HTML markup language or XHTML has two important nodes for front-end and developers. It needs to be well formed, meaning all elements need to be closed and nested correctly, or you will return errors. Since it is more static than HTML, is required less pre-processing by the browser, which may improve your site's performance. Now moving to a next question. What are the building blocks of HTML5? The first one is semantics. Allow you to describe more exactly what your content is. Second one is connectivity, allowing you to communicate with the server in a new and innovative way. The next one is the offline and storage, allow web pages to store data on the client side locally and operate offline more effectively. Next is the multimedia, making video and audio first-class citizens in the open web. Next one is the 2D, 3D graphics and effect, allowing a much more diverse range of presentation options. Next is the performance and integration, providing greater speed optimizations and better usage of computer hardware. Next one is the device access, allowing for the uses of various input and output devices. Styling, letting authors write more sophisticated themes. Now moving to the next question. Describe the difference between a cookie, session storage and local storage. So cookie, a text file saved on the user's computer to store and retrieve data. In session storage is memory space in a browser to save temporary data until the window or the tab is closed. The local storage, like a cookie, where data can be saved and retrieved after browser sessions but stored in memory. Like session storage, data is stored as plain key value pairs and can be stored as JSON object. In the current screen, I have some point that will explain you what is exact the difference between cookie, local storage and a session storage. So we can see the first point is initiator. The cookie client or a server. Server can use set cookie header to initiate the cookie. For the local storage, client will be responsible it, and the session storage also the client will initiate the session storage. expire, manually set. So when we declare the cookie, the expiry time of the cookie we will set or we will update as per the requirement. But in a local storage it will be a forever, and session storage it depends on the tab state present across browser session, depend on whether expiration is set. It's for the cookie. Local storage, yes, we can do from the browser session, but the session storage we cannot do it. Set to server with every HTTP request. Cookie are automatically being set via cookie header, but the local storage actually is managed by the client, so it's not handled by the server, and it's same for the session storage. The capacity of the cookie is 4 KB, but the capacity of the local storage is 5 MB and 5 MB also for the session storage. Accessibility of this cookie and local storage and a session storage. For the cookie it will be any window, local storage it's also for the any window, but the session storage only we will access from the same tab. Now moving to a next question. Name 5 common block level and inline HTML element. So the block level element is H1, P, UL, OL and LI. And inline element we have a span, A, storage, I and image. Now moving to a next question. What are semantic and non-semantic element? So as we know, the semantic element clearly describe its meaning to both the browser and the programmer. It means the tag which will explain already with their word, such like a form, table, article, aside, detail, etc. Clearly define its content. Non-semantic element are those elements which is not exactly defined with their word, such like div, span, tell nothing about their content. Now moving to a next question. What is character encoding? So in HTML pages, character encoding is a method of converting bytes into a character to valid or display an HTML document properly. A program must choose a proper character encoding. This is specified in a tag. Generally, it will specify in meta character with the character set attribute, that is UTF-8. It means UTF-8 a Unicode translations format that comes in 8-bit unit, that is it comes in a byte. A character is UTF-8 can be from 1 to 4 byte long, making UTF-8 variable width. Thank you very much for watching this interesting video. So our today agenda was most common interview questions for the HTML and for the UI or UX developers. Okay, and if you want to study more about those tags which I have covered in my today video, I will add the detailed link in a description box. You just follow this link and you can do a more study on that particular topic or the tags which I have covered today. And before ending this video, I would like to request you please subscribe this channel and like this video also. Please give us some suggestion, comment what exactly you want to study and what exactly the content you want to watch or you want to listen from my side. Okay, and just best of luck for your upcoming interview. Thank you again for watching this video. Bye bye.